What's going on, guys? My name is SOETIE. Welcome to this FIFA 19 defending tutorial. It's my first video for FIFA 19 and it's gonna be a defending tutorial, the video you usually show to enjoy most. And what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna cover the basics of defending. Only in like the first 1 or 2 minutes are gonna be the basics, and after that we're gonna get into the real advanced stuff. The secrets which you may have never heard before, the secrets that got me number 2 in the world monthly in January. That's the stuff we're gonna discuss in this video. The great thing about defending is that it usually is the same for any FIFA. I was great at defending in FIFA 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Doesn't matter, the principles are always the same. If you think about it, the pros at the events, it are almost pretty much always the same pros, because they're good at FIFA every single year. It's because some things change, like how to shoot, what kind of shot goes in. But yeah, usually defending, the fundamentals are the same, and therefore sometimes in this video I will use some old clips. Frankly, because I'm a little lazy, I didn't want to edit everything again. And we're gonna focus on aggressive defending, guys. I'm a real aggressive defender. I don't concede a lot of goals, but I can't stand not having the ball myself. I really want the ball as quickly as possible. Usually I concede less than half a goal per match on average, so that's every 2 matches, just like 1 goal or whatever. And even the FIFA 19 legendary AI wasn't able to break my defense. On average scored only opened 4 goals per match against me, as you can see right now on screen with the new statistics menu, and those were some ridiculous long shots which I didn't expect to still go in. The only thing what will change in FIFA 19, which shot do we need to block and which don't we need to block anymore, but the fundamentals, as said, will stay the same. It is time to get better at FIFA. Send me your gameplay clip and I'll analyze it for you. From Division 8 to winning the Weekend League, it's all possible if you get the gameplay analysis. Book it now on the website in the description. Alright guys, let's quickly start with the basics, just tackling. So once you get close to the ball, do press the circle button to tackle. It will make sure your player does a motion like this. Look at the controller, we do press circle ourselves. Never touch the X button, that's the A button on Xbox. Never use the contain button. But this is the most important thing, guys. The first thing you always want to do is to get very close, like this distance, and then stop going forward. Don't go left anymore. Right now you need to jockey backwards slightly to the top right to physically block the opponent, but jockey backwards once you get that close. Step 1 is get that close, get in that diagonal spot, get really close, we get in the diagonal spot, and then jockey slightly backwards and then go and challenge. Second part of the quick reintroduction to the basics is tracking runs. If you don't track runs of the attackers, you're gonna concede goals like this. Look at this, my attacker is making a run. My opponent is not great at defending, he didn't track the run well, and you're gonna concede goals like this over and over. So how do we do it? With the right analog stick, we need to select defenders in time, like here we select the defender, we track the run, and then everything will be fine. Opponent doesn't know what to do, he wanted to play that pass, and then I covered it and he was confused, didn't know what to do anymore. We get the ball quickly, and those are some real important things, guys. You will concede goals over and over if you don't. It's important to switch with the right analog stick before the pass happened. He didn't pass yet, already switched, really important. And also, don't just sprint to the left, sprint to the top left, get in front of the attacker. That will block him, he can't run that quickly anymore, we're blocking him. And that's how you should track those runs, guys. Alright, let's get into some more advanced stuff now. I've done a quick reintroduction of the basics, and you might think this, how did he get the ball that easily? What even happened? That was nothing special, right? So I'm gonna show you what's going on here. You can see my left stick is pointing upwards. Why up, right? The ball is to the left of me, the opponent is to the left of me. Why am I going up? The reason is that I expect him to play this pass. I needed to go up to intercept it, and that's the main thing we're gonna discuss in this section, guys. If I run to the ball like this, he will pass it, right? So therefore you need to run with a curve. First get between the 2 players and only then go to the ball, and he won't know what to do. He was thinking like, alright, I might dribble, I might pass, and then suddenly he can't do either of those options. And that's what we should do, guys, and that's what we did here, and therefore there was no option. We can see we already did it with Vieira. We blocked the pass, review that. He couldn't play to the center here because we did that approach. But now especially look at Maldini. Most of you would now go to the ball, but what you actually need to do is first we go here, we make sure he can't reach the striker anymore, and now we go to the ball. And therefore he's confused, he can't pass it, he can't dribble, what should he do? And before he knows it, he lost the ball. Right, look at this clip, guys, I didn't run at the ball, look at that in slow-mo, I'm not running at the ball. You see that? I'm not even running at the ball, and then somehow I got it. I must be really lucky, right? Or is there something else going on? There actually is, and that's what I'm gonna show you guys. It's a secret I've been using these years on how to get the ball back quickly, and the reason is that you have to look at your own teammates, and the opponent isn't blind. He sees my teammates. He can't turn up, he can't turn left, and because he looks at my defenders, I'm sure he's gonna turn down. And because he's gonna turn down, I'm not gonna run at the player, I'm gonna run below him. So make use of your own teammates. Your opponent isn't blind, he sees them as well. He sees these teammates, and therefore I know he's gonna turn to the top right. He also looks at my defenders. And how do I fix it? What do I gain by knowing that? I know he's gonna turn to the top right. So therefore I'm not gonna run at the player, I'm gonna run to the top right of him. Look at that, he did exactly as predicted. We got a little unlucky, but it's all about the principle, guys. Look at your own players, and it will tell you where he will make his first touch. He's gonna touch that to the top right. He won't go left, my defender is there. And then you can get the ball very quickly like that. So look at your own players. You can't always be right. I wasn't right here with Gullit, but usually it doesn't matter that much. If you can't take the risk, then don't take the risk, obviously. But he's running down. There's a player to the top right of him. I'm pretty sure his first touch is gonna be down. So therefore we need to make the green run, because we know what direction his first touch would be. And also here, a very important thing is to never run to the player, run to the right position. What happens over and over in my lessons is I see people making the red run, and if you run at the player like that, one time it may work, the second time it won't, you can see the goal, and that's not defending, guys. Defending is about being secure. We can see here we're running back, we're blocking the pass forward, and this section is gonna see how did we end up doing this. He's surrounded by us. How do we make sure we gain this? We can only control one player, but yet he's surrounded by 3 players, and in this section I'm gonna show you how you can do that. We can see Gullit is below his Suarez, and he's running backwards. So how can I make use of that? I'm gonna use my teammates. Defending is not a 1v1 sport, it's a team sport, so therefore I'm gonna run above him. Gullit was already below him, so I can go above him, and that's basically the main principle of this section. The guy in the yellow circle is below him, running backwards, so I'm gonna make sure to end up diagonally above him. Gullit is running backwards above him, so I can just stay here in the right circle. I can just stay below him. And therefore we keep surrounding our opponents. They're in this nasty situation, they don't have space. Gullit is running back, he's gonna pressure the ball, so I can run back and block the pass, and I end up intercepting the pass indeed. But Modric, the other guy was above him, he's still above him, so I moved that other player down, and then all of a sudden he's surrounded by 3 players, and the only thing which can happen is the ball is gonna be mine. So look at your other teammates and try to block the other direction. Let's focus now on blocking passes. I've showed this a couple of times already in my FIFA 18-17 tutorials, but I want to show you it still works for FIFA 19 obviously. Try to not just chase the ball. Some people who think, alright, I'm gonna do great pressure this game, and they just end up sprinting at the opponent with the ball, and you end up not getting the ball, because you need to be clever, right? You have to think ahead. Always try to think, what will my opponent do next? That's what you should think. Don't just think, there's the ball, I'll run to the ball. You can see I blocked the center mid here, and then he's gonna get trapped because I blocked all other options. The only way he could go was to the sideline. So your talk should be always, what is he gonna do next? Alright, the ball is above me, but I feel he's gonna make a 1-2 pass. And then I intercept that. So that's why I selected him. Always think, what is he gonna do next? I think he's gonna pass it up. So I'm not running right, I'm running to the top right already. Great pressure, but alright, it's the legendary CPU here. I always play online, but this is just a demo, so it's a legendary AI. The other clips are Weekend League. And here, we made use of the teammate again. My teammate was to the left of him, so I only needed to block the right direction. And here also we were ready for that pass already. Try to only get about here, don't run past him, because that's when you will concede true passes. Stop when you're at about that position and then go backwards again, like I did here with Maldini. That's a perfect spot, and you can see me here doing it twice in a row, being ready for that pass. I select him again here, Maldini. I'm gonna move him out, I expect the pass. Always try to think ahead. I think he's gonna pass, I don't think he will dribble. And that's what you need to do, guys. Always think, what is my opponent's next move? I saw that pass coming, intercept that. And look at that guy, sliding right at his face. He can't do anything about that, and that's how you should defend. One more time, he's facing down. He's gonna pass it down most likely. We select Vieira, we run him right. Boom, ball is mine. That's how it's done. and that's how you get the ball back. Even in the weekend, this is all weekend league, that's how you win with 8-0, if you know he's gonna make a 1-2 pass. We all know he does, but you have to act appropriately, and then you will get the ball back so quickly. Even in the weekend league, players will do that. And this is a great example of thinking ahead. Only actually 2 passes. He didn't even have the ball yet, and we saw that pass coming. I think this is the final example. We already select him, boom, sliding in his face, and that's just how you get the ball back. That is my style of defending, guys. Make sure to hang in there to see more about that aggressive defending. So don't make the red runs, run to the position. Make the orange run. Don't run to the player with the ball, that's bad. And if you run to the other player, don't run at him. And you also have to know when you don't want to step out. If I step out here, he will pass. There were 2 strikers there, I can't block them both. And if I step out, I will leave a huge gap of space. So don't always step out. And you can see here again, I didn't run to the player, I ran to the position, to that diagonal spot. And that made sure that he couldn't reach the striker. So that's always important. And here again, you see how quickly these things add up. We blocked the pass again because we were thinking ahead. I want to discuss here a technique which I call the hanging technique. You can see me, I was hanging around a little bit in the space. I think here you can see what I'm talking about. I'm just waiting up pretty much, and what I'm doing is I'm staying close so he can't dribble, but I'm also ready for the pass, and that's what I'm calling the hanging technique. So look at this, I'm staying here. If he passes it to the top right, it's my ball. If he passes it to the other striker, it's also my ball. You see, now he passes to the striker, it's my ball. If he passes it to the top right to the center mid, would have also been my ball. So that's the hanging technique. Here we do miss him in the end. We do it again, he had to play a first time back heel, well done. We almost had it there, but if you just keep doing that, again the hanging technique. And we were so close. If he dribbles, we're close. If he passes it, it's that close. And while the ball is rolling, we can go to that player, and we're just so aggressive all the time. And if you're that aggressive, it's gonna make people make mistakes. If they have time, they usually won't make mistakes. Here we made a mistake, and how to solve it is to run to the bottom right, cut off the lane. If you're trying to run back here, you're gonna be too late. You can't fix it in time anymore. And the opponent saw it, he sees he couldn't pass it, and pretty much situation is solved. Ramos is below him, so I'm gonna move above him. Now there's a player above him running back, so I'm gonna go a little bit down, gonna end up below him, you see that? And he's trapped by 3 players, ball is mine. Use your teammates, see where they are, and position yourself appropriately to surround your opponent. And here we're gonna use one more trick. We're gonna tell our opponent where to go. Above him he has no teammates, his only teammate is below him, so I wanna make sure the opponent goes up. So what I do is I'm not gonna run at the opponent, I'm gonna run below him. And that will tell him he can only go up right now, and that's what I wanted. He hasn't got any support above him, I forced him to go up. Should be fine right now. I used my teammate. There was a teammate to the right of him, so I went to the left of him to trap him, surround him so he couldn't go anywhere. We don't just want to defend, we want to get the ball back as quickly as possible, trap him. And that's what we did right there. Look at this, 3 players around him, we used the teammates. Pele was below him, we went above him. That's the principle, guys, to surrounding. And that's how to defend. I want to stress one more time, get in that center spot, diagonal center spot. He can't play to the striker. That's so important to always go to the position. Don't go to the ball, go to that diagonal position, and that's how he couldn't reach the striker this time. You can see we're blocking the center. We need to track the run here. We got a little unlucky, but if we use these principles like blocking the center now with Gullit, really important, don't let them reach that strikers. We're blocking the center mids, and here we're gonna see an example of the hanging technique again. We're blocking that orange pass, he can't play it, and we're telling him, look at the black pass, please play the back pass. But we also know he's gonna play that pass, that's the hanging technique. We block 2 situations at once, and when he plays it, we were waiting for it. I'm telling him, play the black pass, and when he did, sprint, tackle, boom, my ball. And here we can see again how important it is to go for the position. I didn't run at the ball, I didn't run at the player, I ran to the position, and therefore I blocked the pass to the striker because I ran at the position. And I want to stress, guys, always pressure if you can. Don't just run at the player and stop there. I expected that pass. You can see sometimes you can't always be right, but it usually will be fine. So obviously only do it when you can take the risk. Here I just put him offside, put the pressure on, and usually it's fine to apply pressure, guys. Don't be so scared, go backwards all the time, get close to the ball when possible. Just pressure, and if you pressure opponents, they will make mistakes. If you get all the time in the world, are you gonna make a mistake? No, you're not, right? And your opponent isn't gonna make a mistake either if he has all the time. So just put the pressure on, and that's how to do it. And if you put the pressure on, you don't need to track runs. I'm that close to the ball, he can't pass it around me. It will hit my feet. And therefore I don't need to track runs, and in the end he's gonna be forced to go backwards. Alright, let's check out the next example. It might not seem like a big deal. Let's check it out again though. How many of you would keep Vieira right now and run back? But we don't have to. We've got 4 defenders doing nothing. Switch quickly, sliding, take the ball. Don't let your opponent get space. Don't even allow him to attack when you don't have to. And that's the end of this tutorial, guys. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time.